Hunters, it's Josh from CycleHunters.com. And if you can't tell, I've got a smile on my face ear to ear. This is a 2016 Ducati Panigale 1299 S. This bike is on the upper scale of gorgeous. Yeah. This is just amazing. To sit on it, ride it, hear it, all the little features it's got, which we're going to check out. Just kind of going over it real quick so you can see it from all sides. It is so beautiful, as Ducatis are and absolutely tend to be. So, as we get into this, you will see there are some slight little blemishes. You can see in the mirror just a little bit there. Just tiny little bits, things here and there. The bike was definitely ridden. A couple little blemishes right there on the fairing. Wheels are in gorgeous shape. A little bit right here. Not much really. This has Brembo brakes. This does have the ABS brakes. Also features CRG bar end mirrors. A couple little scuffs on there. Not a whole lot of scuffage going on, but again, this bike was definitely ridden. This has the Sato Racing frame sliders on it. As you can see the case here, it's got some scuffage, some blemishes right there. But besides those, and that little one right there, that's kind of really what we're looking at. A little bit right here. Can't really see that. There you go, a little bit in the angle. Very, very little. But that's probably from somebody swinging their foot over and hitting that. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, I really had gone over this thing as much as I can to check and see what we're looking at and looking for. But if you could stand a few blemishes, well, let me tell you what. You can have yourself one gorgeous bike, and nothing a little touch-up can't fix. As you can see on this side, we're looking really good. Beautiful bike. Obviously the Ducati Red. This is something that we're going to talk about, the TTX shock in the rear. The electronically controlled suspension on this bike. And as you can see, when you have the bar ends, your turn signals are now up right here. So these little LED blocks, actually really bright. But in case you were wondering, because you didn't see them, that's where they are. But just drinking this whole thing in, boy, I mean, you could stand back in your garage and just kick back and just look at it. Because she is gorgeous. Well, for me, definitely just the supermodels of the bike world. The Ferrari of motorcycles is absolutely, without question, the Ducati. They have the racing heritage as well to back it. I mean, there's pretty much nobody else that's competing on that level in terms of any of the Italian bikes. And these guys have set the standards for years in terms of looks, with the way their light configuration is, going all the way back to the 916. But yeah, Ohlins in the front, like I said, in the rear as well. We're going to check that out in a second. It has the carbon fiber front fender. This does have the rear hugger as well. The exhaust shroud, you can see that. It has the exhaust mounted underneath the motor, so the weight distribution on this bike versus the previous generations where they'd have the undertail exhaust. There's no weight behind the tail anymore, so that's all underneath you, so it makes the flickability a little quicker because you can you don't have that weight going back and forth, as you can see right here. I mean, this is just so beautiful. There's the frame slider for the left side as well. Now this also inside here has the data logger as well. Since it is the S model, it is the upgraded model. It is not a base. It's not the R model, which is the homologation special, whatever you want to call it. It's the racing version. This is the 1299. The race bikes all are 998 cc's or 99, 999 or 998, depending upon which year. But nevertheless, this is the twin cylinder, the L twin. It has got more than enough power for anybody on the street, believe me. So let's turn this on. Look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous dash. So just to take you through a couple little things here in a second, but so your turn signals. We talked about the turn signals being up on the top fairing. Well, here you can see your left front. And we'll walk to the rear and check out the left rear. I'm going to check out the right front. Check out the right rear. And the brake lights on this bike, as you can see, there's two. Now, if you remember, the older Ducatis had the dual undertail exhaust. This is as they're paying homage to their tradition by making the brake lights sort of mimic that undertail exhaust. So this is your foot brake. And we'll go handbrake. But you can definitely see just beautiful design. It's not just a light stuck in there. It's design, and it's Ducati, so you would absolutely expect another level from them, and this is that level. Gorgeous, gorgeous bike. Oh yeah. You can see how the rear sets are, the knurling, how nice those are. Both sides, and your shifter. Now, one of the awesome things about this bike for sure is that it has the internal auto blipper. So you use your clutch to get it into first gear, and once you get going, you can clutchless upshift and downshift. Yes, you heard that correctly. You can downshift without the clutch, but again, when you're going to go stop, you have to use the clutch to pull the clutch in and stop at a stoplight or a stop sign. So you want to make sure that you're able to obviously use the clutch and learn how to use the internal auto blipper. This has engine braking. There's a lot of features on this bike with the back torque limiting slipper clutch that you can definitely check this kind of stuff out online and get more in depth with it. But basically what it does is that when you take that little bit of an extra downshift, the speed of the motor will match the rear tire so that you're not swaying the bike back and forth. So it tracks a lot straighter going into the curve or to your stop. So features on this, for what you get money-wise, is fully over the top. You're not really getting anything from anybody else on this level, for sure. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous machine, obviously, as you can tell. Yep. Oh, look, it's Matt.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
You reviewing the
Oh,
Ducati?
absolutely.
Why is the seat so sticky?
I don't know. I think I have to wipe that off maybe. A little bit. So Matt's going to show us a couple things about this bike that are extremely cool in terms of features. Especially with the suspension and the engine modes.
Yeah, so it's very in-depth in terms of what you can actually change on this bike. It's pretty amazing that in 2016 you had the ability to do this. But yeah, basically all you do is you go through, and it's got the switches to change into the different menus. Now what I did is I just pushed down and held on the down arrow here on the left handlebar switch, and it brings up your menu. Now in your menu you can go through settings like the riding mode, so you've got different riding modes: race, sport, wet. You can even set your own riding mode in this menu. You know, you can custom tune it to whatever you want, and whenever you select on an actual mode, then it brings up, you know, all the different settings that you can change within that riding mode. So it'll just do a basic race mode if you select race mode, or you can sit here and you can play around and change the settings in race mode. So your dynamic traction control, your shifting, you know, your display, so you can change how you want it to look. You know, a road display or a track display. So with a track display in race mode, it's just going to give you the stuff you need to see for being on a racetrack.
Or like tack.
Yeah, that's basically all it's going to give you. And then you can also go into settings for the suspension. So you can, that's not the suspension one. The suspension one is, right, I believe this, nope, that's not it. There's a lot of different settings here.
And at EBC, I think, is engine braking.
Yeah, engine braking, yeah. So that's that. So we can configure, so there you go, the DES, so your suspension, so you can change things like your front compression, front rebound. This is all done just on these controls over here on this left hand grip here, or well, left switch over here. You can just go through steering dampener. You know, you can change the tension on the steering damper. So really, it's completely customizable. And you can either do just a default setting to where it'll just be whatever Ducati says is optimal, or you can go through and you can change every single one of those settings. You know, whether you want more ABS, less ABS, you want your suspension to be dialed in for your weight, you know, whatever the case may be. It's amazing what you can do. You know, you could spend an hour just setting your motorcycle up. It's almost like playing a video game, really. You know, so yeah, this is definitely a fun little thing to play with. You know, I think what we spent a good hour just
messing around with it, just checking it out. These bikes are fully on a different level than what they used to be. So the amount of ability to change things is gone. It's gone through the roof at this point. Oh, yeah. Check it out. We haven't even started this up. So why don't you thumb the starter there and let's see what she sounds like. Oh yeah! Woo! Give her a little bit of a blip. Oh yeah! If that doesn't put, look at the hairs. Yeah, buddy. Let me get one of them. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, it's so snappy. snappy. So snappy. High beam and low beam. You have your flasher. Yeah, that is really special. So what do you think about that?
That's stock. That's stock exhaust.
I'm telling you.
That sounds amazing.
Boy, though, when Ducati makes something, there's a lot of passion that you can absolutely see that these designers put into these bikes. Not saying that there's anything wrong with any of the other ones, because they're all really great. It's just that there seems to be that little bit extra.
You care about the look.
Well, that's for sure.
They try and make it look like a woman. Like a woman.
Hey, look at that.
They try and make it look visually appealing, and they definitely hit the mark with this one.
Boy, I got to tell you, that's for sure. Well,
Bye, Josh.
see you, Matt. If you are digging the 2016 Ducati 1299 Panigale S, give us a call at 717-273-1809. You can see the full list of inventory at www.cyclehunters.com. You can send us an email at cyclehunters@gmail.com. We ship bikes, we can deliver bikes, we have some financing options available. Whatever it is that we need to do to try to help accommodate you in your situation, to get you on the bikes of your dream. Bike of your dreams. This one's got me flustered. What can I say? I'm sure you would feel it like that too if you're standing in front of it. Especially if you're getting ready to go out on a ride. It really does give you that feeling as you are one with the machine without question. Every one of our bikes also, and this will have it as well, gets a 48-point checklist. We go through as much as we possibly can to ensure that when you get this bike, or any of our bikes, it's as close as we can make it to what it was when it was brand new. Put the battery tender lead on every bike. Make sure that the battery is always fully charged. Especially with something like this and all the electronics that it has in it, you want to full on make sure that you are going out with everything topped off. And that's another thing, part of our PDI, we top off the tank for you so you can get going. Boy, oh boy. I could stay here forever. And actually, I get to look at it quite often, but anyhow. Until the next bike, happy riding.